Hi guys, this is Matt from Mental Health Reddit. Today we're going to be reading a post from r/AskReddit. People with anxiety, how would you describe it? Alright, let's jump right into this one. Miss Cake and Cream says, it's like when you're sitting in the hospital and you're waiting for the doctor to come tell you whether your loved one has died or not. And you go over things in your head like, what could I have done differently? I should have done this and this. But you're in that state constantly and anything can trigger it. I don't know if that made sense. Edit? Wow, this is the most upvotes I've received on a comment. I was afraid my explanation wouldn't make sense, as I'm terrible at explaining things. Thank you, everyone, and I know you're stronger than your anxiety. 1985 McFly says, feeling trapped and desperately trying to find an escape route, and then being uncertain of what will happen if you do manage to escape, so you can try to delay or avoid making the move. Feeling like you never quite belong anywhere, anticipating outcomes that never materialize the way you expected beforehand, beating yourself up constantly, letting yourself actually want things when internally you know better. Being excited about doing things at first and slowly replacing that excitement with dread, the closer you get to something happening. Trying to convince yourself it's not going to work out anyways, so you shouldn't bother trying. Feeling like a burden who's cramping everybody else's style. I was at a crowded park with my two kids, trying to keep my eyes on both and doing a bad job. I lost sight of one of them, and when I went to see where she was, nothing. I felt my stomach sink a little. I looked and walked and ran and became frantic. I became sick with worry. My heart was pounding, with all these dreaded thoughts crossing my mind. 10 minutes later, she ran up to me. She stepped in duck poop and ran to the bathroom to wash her shoes. That little shit. Anyways, picture the sense of dread happening for no good reason. Like you're just waiting for something bad to happen. It waxes and wanes though. I'm usually okay, and sometimes, well, I'm not any fun to be around, as when my anxiety spikes, I tend to be irritable. The worst is when I snap at my kids for doing something minor. Meanwhile, my anxious state is usually caused by worrying about them. Did you ever have the feeling like you didn't do your homework, but it's due at 8 the next morning, and it's 2 a.m., and you're in bed, trying to sleep, but also trying to figure out how you'll get your homework turned in by 8 because your grades depend on it? That feeling right there all the time, but about things you did years ago, or that might happen, or that you should have done, or that someone else should have done? And why didn't they care enough about you to do it? And why didn't I do it myself? I must be a real POS. If no one else cares enough, though, and I can't even do it for myself, what should I do next? Can I pull it off? Am I dumb? Or am I sabotaging myself? Or am I just getting screwed? Do I deserve this? That. Over and over. Terrible and debilitating. It's like when you get nervous about a crush and you get those butterflies, but not because you expect something good. It progresses into physical shaking, nausea, hyperventilating. Sometimes it gets to the point where you even cry uncontrollably. You can't think of anything other than the thing that set it off. And until you get an answer or something that relieves the situation, it only gets worse. Your mind is completely flooded with what ifs and the worst outcome, void of anything else. You get tired, lack motivation after an event like that, want to sleep it off because it's very stressful and mentally heavy. For me, it's as simple as, I have something to tell you, and my brain is off to the races. I've got medication and therapy to help and methods of talking myself down, but you still get caught in the trap sometimes. Physically, it feels like that drop stomach sensation when you know you're getting in trouble, or when you realize you didn't do the homework for the day, but instead of dropping, it just stays for a long time. It feels like the butterflies in your stomach are in your chest, and they just don't leave. Even when you've forgotten about them or focused on something else, that feeling is still there. Remember being a kid and hearing your mom call you using your middle name? And you're racking your brain trying to figure out what you did and how you're going to explain yourself, but you can't take more than a couple seconds to get your ass out to the kitchen because she's already pissed? Remember how terrifying that was? And the confusion and guilt mixed into it? It's like that, but like about nothing. Or about shit you don't have to justify to anybody. It's feeling like you're in trouble, but not knowing what you're on the hook for. I have OCD and I'm constantly terrified everyone around me in grocery stores is on a secret plot to have me either arrested, murdered, or sex trafficked. Why? Because the guy in the lane next to me winked at me. I blushed. That's the tell the cashier needed to overhead for help scanning my produce. Somehow, her words let someone else know I'll be headed to my car in 2 minutes, and that's the time to strike. My brain thinks there's a lion. A small mistake at work? That's a lion. Upcoming social interaction? Lion. A cold or odd pain? Cancer. A cancer lion. Another way to think of it, a stress without a source. Sure, when something is actually wrong, it is amplified. But absolutely everything in your life can be going perfectly well. Your brain will work that much harder to believe it's all going to come crashing down. It's like a roller coaster. When you're in line, you start to get a little nervous. Then you keep inching closer to the front of the line, and you get more and more nervous. Then you're on the roller coaster, and you feel like you can't breathe. And you start inching up to the roller coaster, and you start noticing that you're actually going to have to go through with riding it. By the end of the roller coaster, you realize that everything was fine, but leading up to the first drop, it was really scary. That's how it is for little things, like going to your friend's house, or the store, or work. Everything leading up to going is really scary, but once it's over, with everything normally ends up being okay. Hell. Every day, normal things are an epic battle. On a good day, you don't worry you might have an anxiety attack. On a mediocre day, your palms and feet sweat, the world spins, but you keep pushing. On a bad day, you just want to kill yourself because you're a failure at life. You hate yourself because you know there is nothing to be scared of logically, but your body thinks that driving, going to the grocery store, just being in public is a life-threatening scenario. Your life opportunities seem to be non-existent because everything revolves around what happens if you have a meltdown. Job opportunities? Don't know them. Solo road trips? Fuck going out to eat solo. Don't know them. Feeling like a drain on your family and friends all day, every day? On the positive side, I'm fighting the motherfucking battle. I haven't given up, and I'm one strong, badass bitch. I once described it as that feeling when you reach into the pocket you always keep your keys, but the keys aren't there, and your heart kind of skips a beat, and you get the sensation of pure panic for just a second. Problem is, with anxiety, panic attacks, that feeling stays on a lot longer. Finally, I got one of my friends to have an idea of how it feels. I'm afraid to drive to work. I'm afraid to be at work. If I'm at work and someone needs a ride home, I get nervous about going to their neighborhood, and this is all really for no reason. It's just that sometimes there is no comfortable place to be. So yesterday, I was at the DMZ for no ducking reason at all, and I started to panic like duck. I feel like my heart is having trouble and my legs are shaking. I just want to turn around and go home. But I took my emergency K-pin and calmed down and finally got my motorcycle endorsement. Now, I'm anxious because I'm about to ride it to work. To calm down without drugs, I turn to Reddit. I have social anxiety. It's hard. I feel like everybody is judging me all the time. Like they are always looking at me, and if I'm doing something wrong, and when I'm being truly myself around my friends, I just get this feeling that I'm annoying them, and that I should stop and I should tune down. Thinking about it hurts me. It makes me cry myself to sleep sometimes. And that takes us to the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more mental health Reddit. I'm starting this channel to help viewers like you out there with issues related to mental health and giving us a place to gather and share our stories. I should be uploading videos about 3 times a week going forward, so be on the lookout. Until next time, peace.